Sleep Stalker. Is this a bad movie? Let's get into it. When the sad man calls, it's good night forever. Is that the tagline? Of course. Okay. Well, Sleep Stalker is from 1995. It lasts about around 35 minutes. And it stars no one you've heard of. I wonder if this had a slightly bigger budget, it might have been the start of a franchise. It's got that feel about it. You know, mid-90s, like Wishmaster, like the Hellraiser movies, or Child's Play. Those are 80s. Yeah, I know, I'm just, you know what I mean, that type of franchise. It might have been, I think. Definitely not. It's trash. Yeah. But with a better budget, it might have... Well, it would have also needed a better script, a better director, better actors, a better... just better everything. It's so bad. Okay, well, let's talk about it. The movie opens with a little boy... No. The movie opens in the desert. Some guy just walking around the desert for hours. That's true. It also has a subtitle. Yeah. The Sadman's Last Rites. What? Well, I mean, that's not too bad. Yeah, but it's like, that's not the subtitle you use for the first movie. Did even they know it would never be a franchise and there'd be no sequels? Good point. Because that could have been a good title for the final installment.
This is the last one.
When the movie actually begins properly, it starts with a little boy, Griffin, and he is living with his parents. We find out they're his adopted parents, Jenny Olsen from Superman. Well spotted, it is indeed. Anyway, he's scared to go to bed. He says that there's something in the dark that's going to get him. And he's right, yeah, but his parents try to reassure him, tell him, go to bed, and the dad's a cool dude. How do you know that? Because he plays with a yo-yo. Anyway, they get Griffin to bed. They head off to bed for some sexy time. Yeah. But a man appears in their room. Yeah. The guy's like scarred lips. He's the Sandman. So he kills the parents. Not that we see it. We just hear some screaming. And then the little boy Griffin runs out of his almost empty bedroom, down an almost empty hallway, into the parents' almost empty bedroom. Honest, the set designer on this movie must have had the easiest job in Hollywood. I say Hollywood, yeah. I mean, in someone's garden. Yeah. Griffin rushes in just in time to see his adopted mother lying dead and having sand poured on her face. Yeah. What's that about? I don't know. He's a Sandman, I guess. Yeah. He's a weirdo. Well, yeah. Griffin runs off and the police come into the house. Thrown nowhere. They just arrive and come into the house. They shoot the Sandman. Definitely, fatally. It looks like he's shot dead. But then the next thing you know, he's been led away in handcuffs. And while he's been arrested, while he's been led away, there's a guy across the street watching. Oh yeah, this guy standing under a streetlight with glowing eyes, looking weird. Definitely arrest him. Well, yeah. Do something. At least bring him in for questioning. Anyway, after this, it cuts to 17 years later. 17 years. How random. Well, we see Griffin all grown up, and he's a total nerd. Look at him, he's like the type of guy you do not want to get stuck talking to at a bar. He would be in a lecture hall, challenging the lecturer on anything he disagrees with.
Yeah, no, I'll hold.
Thinks he knows it all. Well, it's just the style at the time. Did you dress like that? Well, no, but did anyone you know dress like that? No, but yeah, okay, he does look like a bit of a knob.
What a knobhead!
That the girls love him? Yeah, all the girls fancy him. Anyway, he's a journalist And he hangs out with his friends Megan, who he secretly fancies. Well, not so secretly, but yeah, she's got a boyfriend though, Kenny. And there's another girl, Dana, who Megan is trying to set up with Griffin. It happens to be the day of the Sandman's execution in prison. Yeah, in the gas chamber. That before he gets taken to the gas chamber, where the executioner's prison guards, I assume, and doctors. I think that's who does it. They all look like sinister prisoners. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Anyway, he gets his last rites. He gets his last rites from that guy with the glowing eyes. We find out his name is the Preacher. And he's mystical. Ooh. And then he's killed. He's executed. And instantly comes back to life from the sand above the city. He looks down at the city and then bursts into a big cloud of sand and just floats off. The end. It's not the end. I wish.
We all want that on.
Kenny is returning home from wherever he's been. He gets to his apartment and finds a trail of sand. Uh-oh. He follows it. Yeah, he follows it right through his apartment onto the roof of the building, and he meets the Sandman. Yeah, the Sandman sings in a little lullaby and then shoves him off the roof. Yeah. Not that we see it. That's right, we just hear a scream, and next thing we know, we see Kenny lying dead on the ground below.
When the bow breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby. Cradle and all.
How cheat. Well, Griffin and Megan have been away all night on an assignment. Yeah, she's not a journalist. No, I think she is a photographer or something who works at a diner with Dana. Oh yeah, it's a bit confusing. Anyway, they get back in the morning and Megan and Griffin kiss, and then Megan finds her boyfriend dead. Hakuna Matata. After this, we see the Preacher. He is chilling on a stone throne. He'll get hemorrhoids. Well, he's chilling there, and he has the Sandman as sand in an hourglass. So weird. He tells the Sandman, listen, you need to kill this guy, Griffin. Do it tonight, before sunrise. Griffin must die. Why? Well, I don't know. Why the urgency? I don't know. But we find out the Sandman only comes out tonight. Makes sense, yeah. He goes to Megan's apartment. Her and Dana are chilling there. Megan goes for a shower, yeah. And Dana goes and lies on her bed with her headphones in for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what she's up to. But that's what she's doing. The Sandman comes in, watches Megan in the shower for a bit. Great. Yeah, but water touches him. He doesn't like that. No, his fingers disappear. Yeah, he grows them back, but we can see water is something that might help win a fight against the Sandman. After he's done being creepy and looking at a girl in the shower, he goes through and just kills Dana. Yeah, buries her in a sandpit. And then hoovers himself back up before anyone comes in. So, Megan finds Dana dead. The Sandman is just leaving the building like a normal human. And Griffin arrives. And Griffin is with the cop who he met as a kid. Yeah, he struck this guy out of retirement because he's like, hey, I think there's a ghost about. Kind of. So they come face to face with the Sandman, and the Sandman just murders the cop. Yet, not Griffin, not who he knows he must kill, that he kills the cop, who's been pulled out of retirement by this idiot. Griffin and Megan run off. They go and hide in some room somewhere. Yeah, so the Sandman, he works out, oh, I can get through the keyhole. Not the giant gat under the door. Yeah. Anyway, he catches up with them. They escape again, and they run along the streets. Yeah, and then Megan falls behind. She trips up. So Griffin just leaves her. Yeah. He runs off. He steals some guy's car and drives off. What a hero. He's pretty quickly arrested though for stealing a car. Yeah. And he's put in a cell, he's also put in a straitjacket. What? The Sandman comes into the cell through the air vents and he says, right, Griffin, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, that night at sunrise, and the rays of the sun burn the Sandman, so scares him off, he runs away. He says, I'll be back tonight. So that's another way they can take out the Sandman. Sunlight or water. Oh, what shall it be? Well, eventually Megan arrives and rescues Griffin from prison. Yeah, rescues him. She holds cops at gunpoint and gets him freed. Yeah, and takes the cop's trousers. Yeah, well. Now in prison, and earlier in the movie, Griffin had been having dreams. Yeah, he'd been having dreams about the Sandman's childhood. Not his own childhood, the Sandman's. What? It's really strange. Anyway, we find out the Sandman had an abusive father when he was a child. Yeah, like a complete caricature of a cartoon drunk, this guy. So, Griffin and Megan go and confront the preacher. I don't know how they find out where he is, but they go and find him on his stone throne in his big robe. Yeah, he loves his robe. He says, Griffin, I've got news for you. The Sandman is actually your brother. Oh, Jesus Christ. So he says, as long as you're alive, he can never rest. He doesn't want to rest. He's been brought back from the dead. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, while Griffin and Megan are there, the preacher opens up the hourglass to release the Sandman. Yeah, just shoot the preacher right now. I don't know why they don't. They just leave and run off, and the Sandman is in hot pursuit. So they go to an abandoned factory, and they set a trap for the Sandman. They like crawl through the air vents, because they know he'll follow, and they've got like Molotov cocktails. So they set up a trap so the Sandman walks right into an explosion. Yeah. The explosion seems to take out the Sandman, and then it's over. It's finally over, says one of them. Yeah.
It's over. It's finally over.
That it's not, of course. No. Megan goes to get something. Griffin is standing alone, and the Sandman appears before him. Yeah, and his hand is burnt, so now his hand is like a blade of glass. Yeah, it's like, well, I guess what happens when you heat up sand, it can form into glass, I think. I don't know science. Sandman's fine, basically. Yeah, and then Megan comes back into the scene, doesn't even notice the Sandman, and just walks right into him. Just walks right in front of him. Yeah. Sandman's about to kill Megan, but Griffin goes, no, runs up, saves her life, and he gets killed.
Yeah.
He's an antagonist and he gets killed? Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it coming. I'm not against it, because he's a knob. So now Megan has to flee from the Sandman, and she flees right into the furnace in this abandoned factory. Yeah, she climbs inside, and somehow gets to the top of it. It's like 50 feet tall. She gets to the top of it in seconds, switches it on, and when the Sandman's inside, lights it. Yeah. And that's the end of the Sandman. That is the end of the Sandman. So we already saw him survive fire not 5 minutes ago. They could have used water. They could have used sunlight. But they used something that definitely didn't work. Did it work this time? It seems to have worked this time. That's basically the end of the movie. I mean, we see Megan scattering Griffin's ashes. And we see the preacher at the factory the next day. He is retrieving the ashes of the Sandman. Oh, God. And then he says... Well, he says something, I've no idea what. Just like mumbles something. And then it's end credits. And that was total rubbish. Right. So is this a bad movie? Oh, yes. Do you not think, though, it could have been better with a better budget? And better actors and a better script and a better director and better production values? Yes. But this is what they got, and this is not good. Okay. Well, Let us know what you think of Sleep Stalker from 1995. Hit like, hit subscribe, watch another video.